This is my son.
Oscar Villarreal's mom was overjoyed when in February of 2020, he made parole after serving 8 years in prison for a DWI.
And I was so proud of him. I thought he was going to come home because he wrote a letter to me saying I'm coming home soon.
7 months later, he died from COVID-19 while working to complete an alcohol education program. He was just shy of his 61st birthday.
I knew he had to do the programs, but I didn't expect these programs to be 6 months or almost a full year. We were 3 months away, and to get that call was shocking and upsetting.
According to a new report by researchers at the University of Texas, at least 18 parole-approved inmates have died from COVID-19 while working to complete programs as a condition of their release. The report found that paroled inmates waited 5 to 11 months during the pandemic before being released. Today, there are more than 10,000 paroled inmates who remain behind bars, inmates like Brent Demby.
You know, I got kids I want to go home to, with family. People dying around me. I mean, that's a terrifying situation. Repeating it in your mind, you know, am I going to make it out of this alive? You know what I mean?
Jeremy Diesel is a spokesman for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. He says there are only a few dozen active cases of COVID in the Texas prison system right now.
What do you say to those inmates that are still worried, as they are sort of on the back end? They see the finish line and they're worried that they may not make it there because of COVID.
Make sure you're vaccinated.
Vaccines are now available to all Texas prisoners. Around 52% have received at least one dose, on par with national numbers. Much like in the outside world, the challenge now is hesitancy.
We had an incentive program for inmates where if they did receive the flu shot or choose to receive the flu shot, they would receive an item from the commissary that they, would not have to pay for. We used that same logic.
Christopher Crane is working to complete a drug education program at the Havens facility in Brownwood, Texas. For him, the incentives are having the opposite effect.
They were trying to give people ice cream or whatever, like M&Ms, whatever, to take this flu vaccine. I kind of get suspicious of what they're really trying to do, and that's the main reason why I wouldn't want to get the vaccine in here.
Mistrust is one issue, misinformation another.
My girl, her aunt took the shot and she had a stroke and she passed, so.
Both Crane and Demby declined the vaccine when offered.
People dying simply because they haven't been able to access the program that they needed. That's not fine.
Michelle Deitch is the director of the COVID Corrections and Oversight Project at the University of Texas.
Rehabilitative programs that prepare a person for reentry need to be front-loaded in the incarceration period. People who are at the point where they've been approved for parole, they should be able to complete those programs in the community.
This month, the Texas governor is expected to sign a bill that would allow for just that. The man who wrote it, a Republican lawmaker. Representative Tan Parker wrote House Bill 2352. The bill establishes a pilot program that would allow some paroled inmates to complete pre-release programs in the outside world under community supervision.
For these non-violent drug offenses and so forth, it's just much more productive for them and for society and for the taxpayer and for everyone involved to be able to put in place this kind of unique programming.
Do you think that would have made a difference for Oscar?
Absolutely.
What is your message to the other families out there who are waiting for someone and worried?
You should be worried, because my brother, we were expecting him home. We were making holiday plans, and it was shocking. And it's still hard to believe that my mother, who is 92 years old, could get COVID and survive it, and her son didn't.